Hi everybody, Dan Davies here, independent conservative candidate for Peace River North. Out here at Doig, we're having the cafe, World Cafe out here today. Also learned that this is your 10th year as chief of Doig, which I think even you were surprised at when it was brought up. So congratulations on 10 years of that, which is really interesting. I've been really interacting with Doig River, certainly since I was elected 7 years ago. So you've been here the whole time, that I've been coming out and interacting, with your community. So always appreciate the welcome that I receive when I come out here. And I just want to spend a few minutes, not very much, but we just had Truth and Reconciliation Orange T-shirt Day yesterday. So I think it's very timely to talk about, some of the things that you guys are doing here in Doig. And, I would say that you guys are really a model for the economic reconciliation. I've attended, I think, 3 different events over the summer, where, your trading company that just opened here a few days ago, your resource company, I think in August, Ujo in August, and then of course your new groundbreaking over by Murray, the center, Notching Common. So really big things that you guys are doing. What does that look like for you as your community? How does that make you feel and such?
I think actually there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of pride in it, and it takes a lot of work to be a true player in especially with all the different economies here, from forestry to oil and gas to just retail stores. We're building a gas station in Notching Commons, and there's quite a few barriers that had to be broken down so we can get there. And even within the Indigenous Services Canada, like some of the regulations and stuff like that, for urban reserve, we had a record. I think it was like 3.5 years for 3 parcels to become additions to reserve, and we were one of the first that went through that process in BC. So there's a lot of things that have changed, and reconciliation, I do see it happening. I wish it was sooner, but I definitely do see it, and it does take a lot of work, and I think our nation is really proud of our accomplishments. Hard work, stay at it.
Yeah, and I certainly share in that that pride as a member of Fort St. John. I was on City Council, actually. I remember early days on City Council. This might have been before you were chief, when we signed the first memorandum of understanding with Doig to talk about what is just now coming into reality. So I mean, that's going back 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, even when those first pieces were started. So but it is really good to see that economic development, the opportunity that thinking outside the box, and the relationships with community. How has your relationship been with the community, the city of Fort St. John and such?
Within the region, I think we've really had a lot of interaction with the regional district and all the different mayors and city councils, and we started back in 2009 is when the first MOU was signed with the city of Fort St. John, and it's taken some time, and I think the relationships are really evolved, because we need each other up here.
Yeah.
There's this is a vast piece of real estate up here, and you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So we don't have enough people to really lobby and put big impacts out there, but we do have an impact, and I think especially with the industry and the region, especially the resources that do come out of this country, part of the province, and definitely I do see it. I've seen the differences, and it's getting better and better, and when we do collaborate, and when we do have a voice in legislation and all that, and there's really some turnarounds that's happened within the governments on First Nation led processes and things like that. It's come a long way.
Yeah, and I've always been proud to work with Doig and our other nations in the region to bring that voice to Victoria, because you're right. Often, this is a big chunk of real estate up here. I mean, I just look at my riding, Peace River North. It's 172,000 square kilometers. I mean, it's just it's bigger than many countries in Europe, and it's just one little area of our province. And very diverse. We have other nations that that have their own challenges. Other nations are also doing very similar stuff as well that Doig is doing. Some of the economic economic piece and jumping in and doing some really good things. What is that relationship? As the local MLA, what does that mean to you? Having that relationship. With myself and MLAs in the past.
I think it's a very important relationship to have, especially when it comes to major projects that are coming and First Nations do play a big part in environmental assessments and there's so many different regulatory things that we have to work through, and sometimes your voice is not heard. There's going to be some confrontation or something where we could reach out to our MLA, and then that you can have a voice there too, and then things can get figured out, and then permits can get pushed faster. I think we just have to collaborate together.
Yeah, and I think that collaboration is huge. And if we can all face the same direction and start moving in that direction, I think the entire region, your community, our community, all of the communities are going to be better off for it. And I think that, and we hear lots of these conversations about, permits and such. And I think, there's a lot of confusion about what that looks like moving forward. And, sadly, we haven't seen government doing the greatest job on clarifying that. I've been trying to, do a lot of stuff in Victoria and making sure that message is loud and clear as well. So, no, I certainly appreciate what you guys have done here for your community. It's growing. So much work has been done just here in Doig, and then that being also, seeing in Fort St. John, this relationship between our communities, I think, is really important for my kids, for your kids, for our grandchildren, and as we move forward in this reconciliation and understanding each other, I think that's really important. So I appreciate your time out here today and the invitation to come out, and thanks very much.
Yeah, I think it is important especially about relationships, and if I could touch a little bit on that before we're done. Especially with pre-engagement, I think a lot of our industry proponents and stuff are now pre-engaging with the communities, and having open houses and really bringing the information out. That helps out a lot. And when they come out to the First Nation communities, I think there's no shock, there's no blindsided or anything like that, because they've pre-engaged about projects that are coming. So it should speed up the permitting process, and it is all about relationships. And I've definitely had a good relationship, and Doig's benefited from having you be our voice down in Victoria many times. We've asked you to push a few things forward, and
still trying to get Peterson's Crossing paved.
Yeah, we're
one
still
day.
trying to do
One
day. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that are really important to us, education and health, and we all use the same facilities because Fort St. John's a hub, basically for up here, and we all have to work together to advance our health and education.
Yeah, and I just before we wrap up here, what you were talking about, getting that information out there, because there's so much wrong information, and it just, people don't understand. And what you don't understand, sometimes you just make up. You know, you guys have done really good, the open houses, like even the one today. You know, your open houses that you've had in Fort St. John throughout the years that you've had, which is a great job on your behalf on getting that information out to people that, you know, might not understand. Your Doig Days is a great example of, you know, bringing community out here and understand not only culture, but understanding, you know, where you are going, where your community is going in the future. You guys have done a fantastic job of that. So well done for that.
Thank you.
That's it. Thanks.